Song for today, man. Everything. Wow. Well, good morning. Welcome to Christ Today. Good. I welcome you to part 3 of He's Still Got the Whole World in His Hands. Have you enjoyed this series?
Amen.
And I have. And you know what? We'll send a note to North Point that we use this and we really enjoyed it. So I give kudos to Andy Stanley for speaking culturally relevant words into our life. As we start this morning, I want to start by teaching us a Bible verse. So pretend that you are in Sunday school and repeat after me. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. Just say it with me. It's there, okay? May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. Say it again. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. Now take it away. Take your thing away. Okay. Now repeat after me. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. You guys just want to take off and say it with me. So that's fine. So say it by yourself. 1, 2, 3.
May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you.
Woo! Good job there. That's awesome. You learned a new Bible verse. Okay. Well, today, as we talk about hope, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the tension that we face within this idea of hope. And here's where it comes into our life. How do I maintain hope in a world that seems to be hopelessly broken? How can I truly have hope in an uncertain world? Let's be honest, most of us here today haven't had that great of experience when it comes to hope, have we? You know, we have hoped in someone, and our hopes have been dashed. We've put our hopes in something, and it's crumbled down around our head. And whenever that happens, we experience this tension within hope because we ask ourselves the question, how do I maintain hope in a world that seems hopelessly broken? Some of you this morning have stood at the altar and you have said, until death do us part. But the person across from you simply meant until somebody else comes along. And now you find yourself, facing feelings of uncertainty, and you're trying to manage this hope that has completely crumbled and let you down. Maybe you were promised something at work, and you did your part, but the person who was going to come through for you didn't do their part, and now you're trying to manage some despair, maybe a little bit of anger. Maybe you were a promising athlete, and because of an injury, you lost a scholarship, and now you're dealing with a sense of hopelessness. Maybe some of you were supposed to get into college through a scholastic scholarship, but you kind of fooled around for about 9 weeks and you didn't quite, get there. And now you're dealing with feelings of frustration and a sense of hopelessness. Maybe today you're a parent and you've had these great aspirations for a son or a daughter, but they kind of hooked up with the wrong crowd, and they walked away from everything that you dreamed of and hoped for them. And today you're left with feelings of helplessness and hopelessness about the situation. You fill in the blank. All of us have dealt with these scenarios because all of us have tried to manage and maintain some kind of hope in this world. You know, hope in people, hope in love, hope in a certain circumstances, in situations, easy to say there. Hope in dreams, hope in things, hope in finances. Ooh, that's a big one today. And it's caused you to feel this tug-of-war, this frustration, this tension of trying to maintain hope in an uncertain world. Now, if you haven't found yourself managing this tension yet, just get ready because it's coming. I promise you. Aren't you glad you came to church today for this encouraging message? I promise it'll get better later. But when we experience this tension, when we're trying to maintain hope, we find ourselves saying things like, well, why even try? Why even go on? Why even apply myself? Why study? Why even, give my heart? Why invest in loving someone? What's the point of loving someone if you're not going to get anything in return? What's the point of committing to someone if they're not committed to you? What's the point of me investing my time and years of my life into a company if they're not going to invest in me? What's the point of investing my life into my family if all I'm going to get for it, is hurt in return? All of these questions that all of us have mulled over in our mind bring us to the inevitable question we all ask sooner or later: how do I maintain hope in a world that seems to be hopelessly broken? How do I maintain hope in an uncertain world? Well, these very questions are why I want to speak to you this morning about hope. Now, as we launch into this discussion, let me give you a definition of hope. Hope is that person or that thing in which our expectations for the future are centered. Hope is that person or that thing in which our expectations for the future are centered. You see, these are the things that we lean into. I had hope in this relationship. I have hope in this group of relationships. I have hope in my company. I have hope in my ability. I have hope in my good looks. Not me, but some of you are saying that. I've got hope in my good looks. You see, we've all centered our expectations in something. Did you hear that? We've all centered our expectations in something. I want to give you kind of a little bit of imagery for this idea of hope because, it's an intangible. Hope is a little bit like a ladder that we lean up against a wall. Okay? And when we first come into this world, our hope is in our parents, in our family. Our hope is in their willingness and their ability to meet our needs and take care of us. But then as we get a little bit older, our ladder of hope moves to our own ability. Our ladder of hope moves in our ability to connect, our ability to use our talents to maybe get a scholarship in college, our talents and our abilities to maybe find the right partner in life, somebody who will share our dreams and our aspirations and want to help us live out our goal. Some people move their ladder of hope to this area of career and finances. They go to like an Ivy League college or something like that, and they place their ladder of hope in their career and their ability to accomplish something great in the world and their ability to have a big bank account. But make no mistake, all of us here today, every single one of us here today, have our ladder of hope leaning somewhere. Now, here's what's weird. We're not even aware of this ladder of hope until whatever it is leaning up against doesn't come through for us. When something's fallen through for us, when we have those moments when we're like, wow, I was hoping by now, I'm 40 years old, I was hoping to be married by now, I was hoping by now that I would have kids, I was hoping by now that I would be able to retire. I was hoping by now that I would have accomplished more in my life. This idea of hope doesn't even come to our minds until hopelessness sets in. Because here in America, let's be honest, we live in a land of opportunity, in a land of hope, and typically our hope is just resting upon the object of our hope. We never even think about it until we experience kind of a free fall like we are today. It's only, when we bump into this loss of hope, it's only when we start going, wow, how am I going to manage hope? How do I go on? How do I keep going? How do I keep trying? It's only when we have these feelings that we realize this, hey, maybe this thing that I've leaned my ladder of hope against isn't as secure